What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video, and the news never stops, and well, at this point, neither do I. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Linda McMahon's heartwarming act to a fan, massive plans for tonight's Raw, Michael Cole's big Money in the Bank blunder, Charlotte Flair blasts critics, as a superstar joining Roman Reigns in the Usos, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Our first story looks at Linda McMahon's heartwarming act to a fan at last night's Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Now, we were all hyped for the return of 16-time world champion John Cena, and of course young fans wanted to see their hero up and close. However, when the young fan tried to film Cena's return, security tried to stop him at the barrier. Linda McMahon, who was just next to him, actually stepped in and allowed him to continue. Now, she didn't have to do this, but what a heartwarming gesture that most certainly made that fan's day. The video was taken by Chris Dyson, and he wrote, "While people were cheering for John Cena, I was cheering for you. You're my hero, Linda McMahon." Next up, a huge star announced for tonight's Raw. Our next story deals with the return of 16-time world champion John Cena, as WWE.com has now confirmed that Cena is back and will appear on tonight's Raw, the first edition of the Red Brand to feature fans in attendance since 2020. The WWE's website reports the 16-time world champion's jaw-dropping reemergence at WWE Money in the Bank sent shockwaves through the WWE universe, and Cena will kick off Monday Night Raw to explain why he chose now to return. It appears the WWE is going ahead with its long-rumored SummerSlam match between Cena and Roman Reigns. While there were concerns as to whether Cena's Hollywood schedule would allow him to work SummerSlam, as Cena is set to begin shooting a film in August, it's doubtful they'd bring him back unless he can wrestle. Whatever the case may be, Roman Reigns isn't sweating it, or at least he's following the sage advice, never let them see you sweat. The head of the table tweeted following after Cena's return, "The only two constants in the WWE universe. They all come back. They all acknowledge me. Nothing's different." According to a number of news sites, Cena is expected to be back on a regular basis from now until SummerSlam. Although his schedule may preclude him from appearing too often, it looks like he's taking advantage of his lull in his acting career to make as many WWE appearances as possible. As we'll see, Cena might not be the only big return coming to Raw tonight, as another huge guest rumoured for tonight. In addition to the return of John Cena, don't be surprised if Hall of Famer Bill Goldberg shows up on Raw and challenges current WWE champion Bobby Lashley. Lashley, who destroyed Kofi Kingston at Money in the Bank, is likely to be full of himself tonight on the Red Brand, a perfect opportunity for Goldberg to show up and give Lashley some comeuppance for brutalizing Kingston. As we discussed in our Real Reasons Why Biggie won the Money in the Bank briefcase, Biggie could be looking for some payback for his friend as well. Next up, a surprise debut as well. Now it sounds like WWE is planning on some major surprises on Raw tonight, with the McMahon podcast Andrew Zarian recently hinting that there could be a big debut. Zarian tweeted a big debut tomorrow night. When a fan asked who, Zarian answered it's someone huge and a fellow Texan. Wrestling News' Paul Davis speculated on the potential debut, saying, "If that person is from NXT, then the person who would fit the description is the current NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez, since she is 6 feet tall and from La Feria, Texas, but that's just speculation at this point." Whomever it may be, it sounds like tonight's Raw will be quite the event. While we hope Becky Lynch is coming back tonight, we've been burnt so many times by Becky rumors that we're not even going to waste our time or yours. Are you guys planning on watching Raw tonight? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Michael Cole's big Money in the Bank blunder. Despite the streaming snafu, Money in the Bank was a spectacular show, particularly the men's Money in the Bank match. During the Reigns vs Edge match, Michael Cole credited Edge with inventing the concept, something which just isn't the case. No pun intended. While the Rated R superstar was the first wrestler to win the match, he did not invent it, something fans pointed out on social media. Current AEW star Chris Jericho joined in on the conversation, tweeting, "True story, Brian Gerwitz and I came up with the entire match concept. Well, almost all of it. Vince McMahon insisted that the contract be in a briefcase." Jericho's story has been well established, and it's unfortunate that Cole made the clearly erroneous statement, a statement that he surely knew was false. Knowing the WWE, this was just the latest chance for the company to take a shot at Chris Jericho for passing on working in the WWE and joining AEW back in 2019. You recall that they didn't even mention Jericho's name when there was a discussion about who's held the Intercontinental Championship the most times. Next up, WWE's problems with Peacock. North American fans getting ready for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match were in for a frustrating experience as Peacock's streaming service laid an egg with technical difficulties making for problems with stall feeds and sound problems. Eventually they advised fans to log out and log back in, which managed to fix the problem. However, according to Cultaholic's Mitch Wadden, the WWE didn't even know about the problem at first. According to PW Insider, WWE weren't initially aware of the problems on the WWE network on Peacock. The issues were not emanating from Dickey's Arena, where WWE presented Money in the Bank from, and therefore had no way of knowing about the issues. It appears a problem arose with Peacock, and unfortunately, this isn't the first time the WWE's new pay-per-view home in North America has had difficulties. The technical problems therefore came from wherever Peacock was picking up the stream from, and had nothing to do with the WWE themselves. Peacock users noted that the stream, upon its return, did not have the Peacock branding on it, which means NBC Universal likely used the WWE Network stream straight up. Regardless of who was at fault, this made for a frustrating experience as the men's Money in the Bank match over-delivered, with all 8 wrestlers performing some insane spots, and the match's climax keeping fans on the edge of their seats. While fans could go back and watch the match over, there's nothing like watching wrestling live, especially if you know who is going to win the match. The bottom line is that Peacock needs to resolve these problems, and the WWE needs to put pressure on its streaming partner to ensure fans are able to watch its pay-per-views properly. While Vince McMahon may be happy counting the millions the WWE made off licensing the network to Peacock, can't be an absentee landlord and let Peacock stir up bad will with the fans. Next up, Charlotte Flair addresses the critics. Charlotte Flair is now Raw Women's Champion again after defeating Ripley at Money in the Bank. The Queen is now a 14-time Women's Champion, but many titles and strong pushes have led to criticism from fans who claim that Flair is being over-pushed. She addressed these comments during a recent episode of Ryan Satin's Out of Character podcast, saying, "First of all, the women's division is so much smaller than the men's division, so that's part of the issue as a whole, right? But here's the thing, I've not won the Raw Women's Championship since 2017, so I'm greedy because I want to win it in 2021? People don't look at the facts." The fans at Money in the Bank seemed excited to see Flair, and despite "We Want Becky" chants, which led to Charlotte even flipping off the crowd, it was obvious the WWE Universe was happy to watch her live. She said she has more plans for the future, big plans in fact. "I want more. I know people are like, well, you've done it all. So because I main evented WrestleMania once, I'm not supposed to want to do it again? I know, imagine telling that to John Cena or Roman Reigns. But that's how I feel right now. I feel like, Charlotte, you're selfish, or this, or you know. What do you think of Flair's title win and her goals? Let us know in the comments down below." And finally, another star joining Roman Reigns on SmackDown. And last but not least, Roman Reigns and the Usos could have a new partner in crime. Former NXT North American Heavyweight Champion Bronson Reed has previously talked about challenging the Tribal Chief for the Universal Championship, but now Reed seems to have set his sights on something else. After Roman Reigns tweeted a photo of the Usos and himself posing with their respective championship belts, Reed responded, "Missing an Intercontinental Champ? Bloodline should get someone to get that Intercontinental strap." As reported earlier this week, the WWE is rumored to have a number of NXT superstars ready to jump to the Raw and SmackDown roster. Could Reed join the blue brand, and if so, could he make it onto Reigns' team? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.